ice on that lot.
I'll open my door, I'll let that, close my door.
Good evening. I have 6 p.m. We will officially call tonight's meeting to order. Would you please do roll call?
Mayor Rodham?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Perry? Councilmember Caffey?
Here.
Councilmember Willie?
Here.
Councilmember Oliveris? Councilmember Starnes?
Here.
Councilmember Melton?
Here. Please stand and join me for the pledge, followed by the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tim.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this glorious day and for all the blessings that you filled it with. Lord, we also thank you for the challenges that you give our life in our lives, that they draw us closer to you. Lord, we thank you for watching over and protecting us during this winter storm, that we made it through safely. Please continue to bless our families. Bless, Lord, this meeting and all of the decisions and discussion herein, that you find it pleasing in accordance with your will. We ask all of this, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tim. Do you have anybody signed up for citizens' communications? No one signed up for citizens' communications. Before we move to the regular agenda, we normally have announcements on here. I don't see it, so I'm going to make I do have one announcement to make, and my announcement is as mayor, and I know I speak for council, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our city employees who worked diligently through the weekend, who were the boots on the ground. That's our police department, our fire department, our public works employees. Folks, you just don't know until you're dealing with it and how much work and effort that those people do to keep our citizens safe and to keep things moving. And it needs to be very well recognized, and I personally thank them. And again, I know council echoes what I'm saying. I personally thank them for their dedication to continuing to serve and protect our citizens in many, many ways. We started out with the planning meeting early last week. We had a second one Friday with the heads of departments, emergency response departments, myself, Chief Metters, Chief McQuinn, Milam County Emergency Management, Gerald with Public Works. And we had follow-up phone calls during the weekend to ensure things were going as we hoped and as we planned, and to see if we needed to implement any other things differently than what we had already planned. So definitely not patting myself on the back. I had nothing to do with that. That was all the boots on the ground hard work by our officers, our firefighters, and our public works, our dispatchers. I can't thank them enough. I could go on and take up a lot of time in this meeting expressing my gratitude for their hard work. And again, I know council echoes this, so thank you to all those employees.
I agree with you 100%. Thank you, guys. Absolutely. And ladies.
So we'll move on to our regular agenda, and I will make, for the record, Councilmember Olivares has joined us.
Thank you, sorry.
He's present now. Thank you. Just wanted to make that for the record. First item on the regular agenda is consider and take any necessary action regarding a ballot questions for charter election. Tim?
So this is what Mr. King talked and presented about at the last meeting. On your memo, there are basically 15 different items, and if you'd like, Mayor, I'll go ahead and read each of those 15 initiatives that the Charter Review Committee is recommending. 1, in various sections stipulated that regulations be in accordance with state law where recommended. 2, reduce eligibility requirement for individuals running for council that they may be a resident of their ward for 6 consecutive months prior to filing instead of 12. It still requires that they be a resident of the city for 12 months. Number 3, stipulate that any elected official automatically vacate their position upon formally filing to run for another elective office. Number 4, stipulate that Rockdale elected officials shall receive compensation in the amount of $300 a month for the mayor and $150 a month for the council members beginning May of 2028. Number 5, allow for the mayor to vote in all matters not inconsistent with state law and recommend appointees. Number 6, allow for council to appoint a mayor in the case of a vacancy to that seat when allowed by state law. Number 7, remove from list of powers and duties of City Council in Article 4.03, Section N, which refers to establishing an electric utility, and which gives authority to which gives authority to regulate, license, and establish fares and charges for vehicular transport of goods, people, goods, and services. Number 8, extend minimum time from not more than 5 days to not more than 10 days to hold a required public hearing in the case of a recall of an elected official. Number 9, requires the city manager to establish permanent residency within the city limits within 3 months of starting unless authorized by council otherwise. 10, make recommended changes to the municipal court, including removing language that the mayor may act as judge in the judge's absence or incapacity. Number 11, require amendments to the annual budget be made by ordinance instead of by resolution. Number 12, allow that an audit of an outside agency receiving 50% of its budget may be required instead of saying that it shall be required. Number 13, allow that an ordinance authorizing a franchise agreement may be adopted after one reading following a public hearing. 14, stipulate that the Ethics Commission may be advised by independent legal counsel recommended by the city attorney and appointed by city council. Basically, currently it says that they shall be advised by independent legal counsel nominated by the city attorney. And then the last one is replace the terms district or precinct throughout the charter with the word ward where it's appropriate, because we have wards here. Now, all of those proposed changes, council can make a motion and act on all of them collectively. You can make motions to adopt any individual provisions that you'd like to see in the charter, or you can reject them all and not have any charter election, or you can recommend any other changes to the charter that you might wish to see. And I will be happy to explain kind of the Charter Review Committee's thinking on any of these that you might have questions about.
I have a question on number 10. I certainly don't want to replace the judge in his or her absence, but if this is approved, who would replace the judge, the municipal court judge, in his or her absence or incapacity?
The council would appoint
Interim?
an interim.
Okay.
And-
That's kind of my question on number 6 is, the pro temp, I mean, so something happens to a ward, he gets stepped down or, is gone for however long.
Yeah, so
Is there a pro temp anymore, or do we have to appoint a mayor?
In number 6, which says allow council to appoint a mayor in the case of a vacancy to that seat where allowed by state law. So state law right now allows council to appoint a mayor to fill a seat as long as there's less than a year remaining in their term.
Okay.
Otherwise, council will have to call, the mayor pro tem will step into that role, and
On election.
you have to call an election. So that's the way it currently states, is that you actually are supposed to call an election. We didn't actually follow that in the last time when it came up, but it all worked out. And so what we're doing is actually proposing to change this to how it was handled and how most cities would handle it.
And so then the mayor will vote, or may vote, or has to
And
vote.
under
Number 5.
under item number
Is it 5?
Under item number 5, allows the mayor to vote in all matters not inconsistent with state law. Currently, there's some conflicting language in our ordinance, or in our charter, because it says that the mayor shall only vote when there is in times that there's a tie. And there's another one that says, ordinances may be adopted with one reading if the vote is unanimous with a vote of 7-0, which would never happen if the mayor's only voting if there's a tie. And so what the charter, said it would be helpful if the mayor could vote, and that is not uncommon. There's a lot of cities that they do, a lot of cities that some cities that they don't. But when you have an odd number of elected officials, typically they do. Sometimes when you have a 5-member council and a mayor, then the mayor wouldn't vote unless there was a tie, and that would be in cases of somebody had a conflict of interest or was absent. So,
Going forward, the mayor will vote.
and if this is approved by the residents, then the mayor may vote.
Okay.
What's being proposed is that it allows the mayor to vote.
Okay, so that's what, so it's a pick and choose, or?
Whatever you'd like to see. But they were recommending
Wouldn't
that,
bother me, I just didn't know.
Charter Review is recommending that the mayor be allowed to vote.
Okay. And when will these go effective? After, like, the next meeting, if these all approved tonight?
No,
will
so
they-
none of these, you don't have a say-so. You only have a say-so in whether they go on the ballot.
Oh, that's right.
So
Okay.
if these get approved,
Then it goes on the,
if these get, whatever you guys choose, then we'll call the election in May, when the election is held, then and they will be on the ballot on an individual basis. So
they can vote on each one.
the voters will actually vote on each one. This is a lot of provisions to present to the voters on a charter review, and some of them are really important. Some of them, I think, are just housekeeping cleanup.
And some are changes in regard to state law changes as well.
Yes, some are changes, and like, for instance, the one that has that budget amendments are made by ordinance. Currently, our charter says the budget is adopted by ordinance, but amendments are approved by resolution, which is really weird. And typically, the only way you amend an ordinance is with an ordinance, but our charter says resolution. So Barbara has kind of gone back and forth on which direction to go, but now the one that we did last meeting was with an ordinance that referenced a resolution. So it was kind of unwieldy, but it met the requirements of our charter and how state law is intending for that to happen. Some of them are just like, as far as compensating city councils, I've had elected officials that were really well compensated, that got a total of like $15,000 or $18,000 a year plus insurance, and then also in Red Oak, they were like here in Rockdale, they were uncompensated, and everywhere in between. So,
Back to number 6. My memory when Ward first became mayor was that council did appoint him. But there's like a time frame, like if we would have, when Brett Boren was no longer the mayor, if I remember right, there's a time frame where you can hold an election, but if it's within a certain time frame, the council can appoint, and that's what we did.
right, so that's what state law says. If it's less than a year, then council has the authority to do that, except our charter did not necessarily allow that. And so our charter in that case could trump state law because it's more restrictive. This basically sets it to the point where it is conforming with state law, which is the way it should be.
So if it's more than a year, we don't have an option, right?
If it's more than a year
Left.
in his term, then you have to have a special election.
Okay, right. Not an option. You can't appoint at that point.
Is there something I need to know, or are you about to?
I had one. Can you give me an example of 13? Just
13, allow that an ordinance authorizing a franchise agreement may be adopted after one reading following a public hearing. Yes, so the way the charter is franchise agreement. So we have a franchise agreement with Encore,
okay.
okay? We have a franchise agreement with DVR, our trash company. Basically, anybody that uses our right-of-way
Okay.
has a franchise agreement. Except for Nextland. And they have a special, they still pay what's like a franchise, but we don't have a franchise agreement with it.
Thank you, Tim. Council, any other questions for Tim regarding this agenda item, or for anyone regarding this agenda item? No other questions. I will entertain any action on this agenda item.
I would say, I guess we'll say, I make a motion that we accept staff's recommendation on the 15 changes to the city
Yeah, except for the fact it would be the charter review committee's recommendation.
charter review's recommendation of the 15 items.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes.
So now, with those changes, I'm sorry,
Yes, thank you. That leads us to agenda item number 2, consider to take any necessary action on the first reading of an ordinance ordering and establishing procedures for the 2026 special election for amendments to the charter for the city of Rockdale. Go ahead, Tim.
so now, with what you guys have voted on in your previous motion, the ordinance that's in your packet will include an exhibit, A, I believe it is, that the attorney will prepare, that will include all of those items, for the second reading, if this is adopted and a special meeting is called. So this would be for May 2nd. Now, I will tell you, and I found this out this afternoon, if we end up canceling I don't think there's any extra cost for having this run concurrently with our regular agenda, or with our regular election, which I think normally it's about $10,000 to hold the election. If we cancel the election because of the fact that we only have 2 candidates and they're uncontested for the East and West Ward, that saves the city about $10,000. And I was telling the mayor earlier, if we don't have any contested races, then I'm not sure I would recommend moving forward with the charter amendments at this time, and just wait till the next time we have an election, because then we would save that money. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was critical. But according to Barbara, once you call the election with this, you can only rescind it with certain calamitous circumstances. So we have the second reading scheduled in February, before we know if we're going to have contested elections or not.
Could we move it to February 16th? Or?
After the
The election?
No,
No.
the meeting.
That meeting.
Right, that's just after the
There
deadline.
may be that we can adopt it February 13th, because the deadline is February 13th
At a certain time.
at a certain time, and so we could
So that
adopt
night it would be
at
over.
5 o'clock. So we could adopt we could call a special meeting to hear the second meeting
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock, and not do it if we have uncontested races. That's the only thing, just consideration. I still recommend approval of this tonight, the first reading.
I don't think there's many county contested elections either. Does this go along with the county election too? No.
School.
So the school, ISD has elections that we run with,
Okay.
but if we cancel our election, we don't pay anything.
Okay.
We still allow them to hold the election,
Okay.
but
So, council, it sounds like it's recommended from city manager that we consider action on the first reading of this ordinance item.
I make a motion that we accept the first reading of the ordinance ordering and establishing procedures for the 2026 special election with amendments to the charter for the city of Rockdale, Texas.
A motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Agenda item number 3, consider to take any necessary action on hot funds requests from the Rockdale Community Market. Welcome.
Mayor, this is, Downtown Association is planning a Taco Fest in May, and they've got some incredible activities planned for downtown. It's pretty exciting, actually. And the application is in your packet. They have requested $10,000 in hot funds, and asked for those funds up front. If you recall, about a little over a year ago, council adopted policies in regard to those hot funds being issued as a reimbursement after they document hotel stays and turn in receipts. And they have in their application estimated 10 hotel night stays as a result of the event, which, based on what we've done previously, would justify about probably a maximum of $2,000 in grant funds. Now, there may be some ways that the city can partner with them to make this festival happen, but as far as a grant of funds up front of $10,000, that is not my recommendation.
But if they were to get the required rooms, let's say we had bigger attendance, which I hope, if this goes off, I hope we do, right?
Yes.
Because we all benefit from it.
Yes.
Then they would be eligible.
Yeah, so you could approve it
For a
say-
larger.
I mean, I generally we've awarded about $150 to $200 a room night. The bigger the event, like with the
Fair?
fair, we've done a little bit less because they maxed out their grant award. But some of the other projects would be $150 to $200. So if you wanted to approve them for an amount up to $10,000 at a rate of $200 a night, $200 a room night, then that would be good.
And I would like to reference this letter of recommendation that you have, that you were given tonight.
Sorry about the font. It was not meant to be that big.
Hey, I like it.
I promise.
It works for my eyes.
I appreciate it.
I would just say that this letter is addressed to myself as mayor and the council, on behalf of Rita Quinn, who is the owner of Moon Brew, in support, Moon Brew Coffee, in support, of this, Taco Fest, which I'm excited to hear about.
Yes.
Okay, but we'd like to tell you a little bit about it, so, okay.
If I could ask you to pull your.
Okay, there you go. So I'm just going to read from a statement because I have been known to ramble. So, dear Mayor, members of the Rockdale City Council, Rockdale Community Market is proud to serve our community and respectfully requests your consideration for advanced hot funding for our upcoming Taco Fest, scheduled for May 2nd. This event is designed to bring our community together while welcoming visitors to Rockdale to experience our culture, local arts, and hometown hospitality. As you may know, Rockdale Community Market is a small volunteer-led nonprofit organization rooted in community involvement. Our operating funds come from grassroots efforts such as bake sales, tamale sales, small fundraising activities, and personal contributions from our board members. These efforts reflect the strong community support behind our mission, but they do not provide the upfront resources needed to produce a large-scale tourism-focused event. The Taco Fest matters to Rockdale families because it creates a welcoming, affordable space for people of all ages to gather, celebrate culture, and make lasting memories together. For many local families, events like Taco Fest offer a rare opportunity to enjoy live music, cultural performances, food, and activities, which will be free, close to home, without the expense of traveling to larger cities. The event also highlights and celebrates Hispanic culture, cultural appreciation, and pride within our community, while giving families a chance to share these experiences across generations. With these free, kid-friendly activities, open and accessible event spaces, and programming that appeals to all ages, Taco Fest is designed to be enjoyed by children, parents, grandparents, and visitors alike. Taco Fest is a cultural celebration that will highlight music, dance, and the arts, but it requires early financial commitments for advertising, marketing, deposits for musicians, mariachi performance, and dance groups. Securing these elements in advance is essential to properly promote Rockdale, attract visitors, and create an event that our community can be proud of, without negatively affecting our Rockdale Community Market regular season events. A reimbursement-only funding structure creates a significant challenge for a small volunteer-run nonprofit and limits our ability to plan confidently and effectively. Advanced hot funding would allow Rockdale Community Market to secure programming, promotion, and services early in the process, helping ensure Taco Fest is successful, well-attended, and beneficial to both the community and visitors alike. We are committed to transparency, responsible use of funds, and full compliance with all hot funding requirements, including complete post-event reporting. With advanced funding, Taco Fest can be a meaningful community event that strengthens local pride, supports the arts, promotes tourism, and positively impacts our local community without placing undue financial strain on a nonprofit organization. We thank you for your continued support of all of our community-driven events and for helping organizations like ours create opportunities that bring people together and showcase the best of Rockdale.
Thank you. Can you share with me, I know you spoke
Yes.
in general to some of the things that, can you share with me in more detail and with council in more detail of how the festival is laid out? Is it one day? Is it 2 days? Is it food,
be a-
entertainment, arts?
Absolutely.
It'll be a one-day event from 9 to 3.
Yes.
We'll be back asking for road closures and such. We are expecting and hoping for 100 vendors. We will have a karate expedition, and we're buying the boards to give away for that for the kids. It's free. We're doing Pinewood Derby races, free. We're doing
Chihuahua races.
Chihuahua
We're gonna
races
have
and
dogs
cousins.
And cousins, Chihuahuas and cousins.
We're doing the human slot machine, and
Yes.
we're doing a new one called Get Out of Jail Free. I mean, not free. Get me out of jail. Help me. Those are all the fundraisers within that. So I wanted to just say that if the 10 is not enough, we're hoping for more. And if whatever we're required, we don't meet within that hot funds, we'll pay. We just need this money up front to show you guys that we can do this.
Yes.
It is going to be mariachi bands, Hispanic, or the
We
dancers.
could get the dancers.
Is there a name for them?
Folklorico, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what, I hate calling them the dancers, but.
Folklorico.
Folklorico.
That's what I was
Oh,
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
skirts,
So we're
yes.
doing that. We're having a big taco contest, the best taco in town contest.
And we're already coordinating with all of the local places, basically, everybody that we can reach out to, not only in Rockdale proper, but also in Taylor and Giddings and Lexington, right? So it's a community-driven event for Rockdale, but we're also trying very hard to take a scope of opening up to all of the surrounding areas so that we can bring in their people can come in because they have a favorite restaurant in Taylor, and they know that they're going to be here at Taco Fest, so they'll come support their people and spend money while they're here, right? And so it's centered around basically culture and stuff, but it's also like a whole hive of smaller fundraisers that we're trying to do to prop ourselves up without having to ask you guys for money for all kinds of stuff. And put on a genuine, like festival with, prizes and people participating in games and the whole thing, like we were saying, so the kids, the elderly people can enjoy it no matter what, group you're in.
The petting zoo. We're gonna have the petting
If I
zoo and
could
stuff, so.
interject one thing, I would just like for the record to mention that Mayor Pro Tem Perry is now present for the meeting. Thank you for driving home from Corpus this evening and making the meeting. If you would, sir, you're welcome to come up and take your seat, and I will bring you up to speed in summarization of what the presentation is we are hearing currently.
Okay, the second, yeah.
We are currently hearing a presentation from the Rockdale Community Market members in regard to a taco fest that they have planned. I didn't hear the date, or maybe I
May
missed it.
2nd.
May what?
Second.
May 2nd.
Maybe it's the election.
May 2nd, a taco fest with many activities, many cultural activities, food, music,
Yes,
dancing.
yes.
So
Music.
As well as a lot of vendors, right? All the local artisans, all the local purveyors,
Many,
right? People that come out.
And I just wanted to point out, you have 2 other references in there, or letters of recommendation, that are from vendors themselves.
And our goal at the market is, we want to create an environment where people can get out in Rockdale.
if you can move over to the microphone, if you
Sure.
don't mind.
So sorry, guys.
That's okay.
So as somebody who moved to Rockdale about 3 years ago, one of the great things I love is not having to drive to Austin to give my family an event and memories and things that we're not stuck in the car for an hour poking each other in the back seat and asking, are we there yet, right? That's every parent's dream. The first thing you want to do is fuss with your kids in the car to go have some fun and enjoy your day. And then you've got overtired kids in the car on the way home and it's twice as much fun, right? But what if that was 10 minutes down the road? What if I could walk around downtown and I could go to Moon Brew and I could visit Coronas and I can go to all of these vendors in the market? And not only is it about the vendors and the adults maybe purchasing products from each other, finding new local artisans, but what about the kids making memories together? Right? These are the future of our city. These are the people who are going to continue to grow Rockdale as a suburb of larger cities. We want to bring those memories here and find that time inside of Rockdale to support not just ourselves in our current ventures, but that future. To give those kids a place to go to for a career event later this season we have planned. To get those trades and those children in the high schools in contact with those trades where they have options available to them to also continue to build our city as we continue to grow. This isn't just about a Saturday weekend market. This is about continuing to feed the community of Rockdale into the future because we call it home. And we want to make sure our home is just as sustainable as any town around us. Sorry.
That was the opportunity there, girl.
I do have a question.
Yes.
How did you, I've put on a lot of fairs, festivals and things over my time.
Oh, we could use you.
I'm a little concerned about your hours.
Sure.
And my concern is, by 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, I'm just kind of getting going,
Sure.
Have you thought about making maybe a little longer? Or is there a
We
reason you picked
understand
3
the 9
o'clock?
o'clock being early, but for
But even if you
bigger
started at 9, I'm
festivals,
good with that, but 3
make it
o'clock just
longer.
seems, I mean, we've had a time change, it doesn't get dark until, you know, late.
once we revise and go forward with the plan and the outline, we can absolutely think about
And you don't-
extending
not
that.
because of that, but I'm just.
No,
curious.
Nothing is set in stone at this point, so we are open
And
to
that's
all,
gonna depend
any and all
on the
suggestions.
road closure and how, you know, I don't know what that looks like right now or anything either, so.
I think it's a great idea, great plan. I would just think 3 o'clock to me is a little early
Early.
to shut it down.
And if I could piggyback off what Councilmember Willie said, I think if you would consider what he's recommending, that you may also generate more hotel night stays
That night.
with vendors, with potential visitors. If it's later, if they come later, stay later, maybe they'll stay all night, right?
Oh, I like
I should
that.
write a song possibly.
You should.
You should.
We could also start at 7 to make sure people out of town get early.
Maybe they'll stay all night.
Run
and-
Florist Run and the train depot is also involved in the planning of all of this.
I've got a question. I'm like everybody, I think everybody on here, I think it's a great idea. I can't think of anything right now, but is there anything that's happening May 2nd also?
No,
Locally?
not that we've seen, we've looked,
Masters, which on golf, which I know is not in May. I'm just
we
saying
originally
something so
came
that-
with the April date and there was something else going on, like an hour away,
Okay.
like a bigger festival or a big festival somewhere else, so we said no. Tim actually,
Do we know if there's any, have y'all double checked see if there's any softball tournaments locally? Or, I mean, I'm just trying to think of anything that would draw people away from this. Like, oh, we got a Little League Baseball tournament this weekend or something like that.
It's the Saturday before Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't know if that was
exactly.
gonna conflict also. That's on
Yeah.
Tuesday, so, or help out. I don't know if it.
I don't know if there's any
I
other.
think it would help.
We had
Yeah.
an event here recently where there was, I can't remember what it was, but what they were trying to do here was also on the same day as they were having a chili cook-off in the park.
Right, that's what I mean, I
Yes.
think as small as we are, you wanna have
Yes.
everybody that can get to it that can. And as we always tell people about the hot funds, we're constricted by what we can do. There's certain guidelines, and I know that the advertising has to be so far out.
yeah.
It's all kinds, it's not us, it's what the law says.
Sure.
So I'm sure Shannon or Tim have helped you guys on that. So if they haven't, they will.
Yeah, Tim's helped us a lot.
Good.
I would make another recommendation, and it's free. The radio station does a great broadcast from here.
We've looked
Oh, yeah.
at that as well, yeah.
And it
And
would
Lucy
definitely
Disney
help.
little thing?
Yes,
Yep.
for
And
sure.
also, we're not the reporter, so we also.
Yep.
get into
And
that.
that radio station, you can pick up the Round Rock, you can pick up the Temple, so it hits a lot.
We used them the 1 year we did get money from you guys, and they were extremely expensive,
Use who?
the radio station.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about buying advertising on the radio station. They have a segment called Hometown News,
with
Oh, okay,
Lucy.
so
You
with
can
Lucy,
go
yeah,
with
yeah,
your
yeah,
mom.
okay,
Yes.
yes, for sure, for
and
sure.
they eat that kind of stuff up.
And there's a potential that they could do a remote broadcast that Saturday morning.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Ah, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the gentleman, I'll introduce you to him.
Okay,
We appreciate that, yeah.
that'd be great.
And I think one of the things that we learned last season was very much exactly what you guys are speaking to. We've learned and we have set our event calendar this month or this year, planning month-to-month events that aren't going to compete for larger things going on around us. But again, we always like to remain that everything we do is free. If you show up and we are putting on these different events, you're not being asked to pay for entry, right? You're being asked to maybe support the local businesses, and there may be opportunities here and there, and obviously we're open to local donations. That's how we keep ourselves running. But it's not an entry fee up front. And our main goal for that is to make sure that, you know, if I just had to make the mortgage payment this week and it was a tough week, I still got an option of something I could take the family out and do Saturday.
And the kids love Saturdays. at the market.
The kids love Saturdays at the market.
And I completely understand that. Keep in mind, you gotta pay for yourself. You gotta have some money coming in somewhere too.
And we do,
Oh, we
and
do.
we do.
Good,
But
good.
we
Well,
have learned.
fundraising we do,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Is there, we've set it, we haven't set up, the last 5 or 6 of these that have been in front of us have all been on a reimbursement. This is an upfront.
Yeah, so that's why,
that
before
a-
you got here, I brought that up.
Is that a deal breaker for you guys? Is what I don't,
Yeah,
whatever we do, if we don't do it the next time,
Sure.
we have to explain why we did it this time, why we're not doing it another time. We have
So-
gotten into the reimbursement business for a reason.
I understand.
And I'm not keen on getting out of it, but I want to, we need to talk about that, because if we give this money up front, you can rest assured the next person's gonna want it up front too. And so if we tell you yes and no, we gotta be prepared to.
We have applied and are
substantiate
waiting for our 501c3 as well. So we are truly moving forward with everything we can do to get more income, so we can be prepared for something like this, but there's no way for us on any kind of donation scale
This early
to
in the
put this
year,
on.
especially this early in the year, after we haven't had a market for multiple months.
Yeah.
Right, so this would be our third major event, grand opening, April, and then this would be our third major event, but this is like our grand opening. So I worked in restaurants for years. I don't know, soft openings, grand openings is
Yeah.
something you talk about a lot. This is more like that big, here we are, summer's coming. We want to be that week-to-week option of places to go, things to do, and local vendors to support.
I want to, go ahead, Lynn.
I don't think it's, if we're considering this based off of the hotel stays, it's not gonna support it. So if we're gonna only look at it from hotel stays,
It was not,
it doesn't math.
we understand that. The reason we said 10 was because there wasn't a number on there when we came to Tim, and so 10 just got brought up. But we were not aware, which I guess we could have been if we asked, how much that number should have been, and that's what we would have put on there. Because that's our goal. That's what we'll get. We'll
Well,
do whatever, however.
I don't know, with the hours that you're talking about doing this, I don't know that any hotels, 3 or 4 might be reasonable, might be realistic. But I don't think that that's necessarily disqualifies you from asking for funds. There has to be some other, there's more value that comes to that than just the hotel motel stays. I don't know how that ties our hands, being tied to that.
Well, so we had a conversation with Daniel, sorry, earlier, I think before you came in, about potentially augmenting the hours to account for filling up more hotel rooms as a result of vendors staying later, the public staying later, people being tired, not wanting to go back to
Right.
wherever. And also have like a 25-mile radius that we're going to be advertising into, bringing people from those other communities that could sleep in those beds.
You're
Oh,
not
sorry,
understanding
50
how
miles,
far enough.
sorry, 50-mile radius.
And I'll answer the question. So, this is the rule, the state law in regard to hotel occupancy tax, is you have to spend it on things that have the potential to put heads in beds, which is pretty subjective and large. But most cities that I'm aware of don't give grants for private events like this. Like Rockdale's gotten pretty creative in helping to support events that private organizations and individuals want to put on, both for-profit and non-profit, as long as they have that effect of putting heads in beds. So that's why the policy that the council adopted for events applications like this, when people applied for funds for these events, we adopted that policy of reimbursement and documentation of hotel stays to justify that amount. If this was a city event, the city of Henderson puts on a syrup festival they have for 24 years, and they spend about $45,000 of hot funds for this festival in downtown Henderson that runs from 9 to 3. It attracts about 25,000 people from multiple states. It's huge, and the hotels are full the night before and the night after the event. But the city puts that on, and the revenue that's generated from that festival goes back into the city, from booth space rental and other revenue generating activities of the festival. So you can spend the money on a festival like that if the city puts it on. And I talked to these folks about next year, once we have our event coordinator, communications person in line, about having the city put on an event like this and partnering with them to make sure that it met all those goals. And that way they wouldn't have to apply for a grant, because the city could handle a lot of these expenses ourselves.
Is that what you were saying earlier in the meeting about partnering with them? That would be for next year, not this year?
That was for next year, yeah.
We've tried to talk him into partnering with us this year also.
Well, I mean, that's a fair question. I don't know why. What is preventing us from a partnership agreement this year?
Staff availability, my availability, and not having that person to help facilitate that. I did that with the chamber for the downtown Christmas festival. The city actually, that became a city event that we partnered with them. The city carried a large percent of the workload, but I had about a dozen meetings between October and December. And it just was not something, and it came up late in December for an April or a May event. So that's why I asked, let's plan on this for next year. It's not something we couldn't do. I don't have a lot of time to run down those things and get all of those contracts in order, and I don't have somebody that can help me with that.
No, I understand.
If council wants me to do that,
mean,
I will try,
we-
maybe.
We see the value in what you're doing, and it's hard to account for that
Right.
with the.
We
the
can
heads
take
and
on a
beds. It's
heavy
like-
load.
I think we have to get creative on how to support you guys.
Have you put down pen to paper what you need to start with for advertising, for what you would need?
We have,
In the packet.
we have both.
And Tim, would this still come from hot funds if we were to partner?
Yes.
And partnering with us is wonderful, and we have been asking for that the entire time of our existence, to partner with you guys, or you guys partner with us. So we're really happy to hear that. So yeah, that would be great.
I think that would be great. I mean, I know there's other towns that have their typical market, like Cameron has their Cinco de Mayo like every year. But I don't know if that's run by the city or not, but there are different towns that are known for different events. So I think that this would be a great way to get this started.
Our downtown, we had a downtown person that was over the downtown, and they ran a market every monthly or every quarter.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, the city is so we just have so much going on and our staff is already just,
I think you,
hard to add.
thank you, Councilmember Oliveris. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
I'm
in
done.
on you. I
I'm done.
apologize.
No.
Someone made a comment early on or during your presentation that if money could be given up front and you didn't match that amount of money given up front based on hotel stays, you would be able to, I understood you to say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you would be able to reimburse the city back that money.
I believe we can through all of the fundraising activities we are going to have at the Taco Fest, along with the vendor fees, the food fees. There are going to be things for sale.
Sure.
We're going to sell cups with Moon Brew. We're going together on that. So that's a fundraiser. So all these little things, or not so little, that we're doing fundraisers for this time, that we're hoping to make a few $1,000s on. So how many beds and heads and beds do we need? And then I would say we could do it.
I would agree.
I know we could do it.
I have another question. Can I would like to ask about some of your figures. The $200 on flyers. How did you come up with some of these numbers?
The flyers are all done through GPT chat or Canva or,
Right, but there
and,
It's mainly
Yeah,
printing.
printing fees is
Printing
what the
fees?
$200 is for. So that we
and
can make
Rockdale
local
Reporter
businesses.
does a great job at that for us.
Or I
Or
do.
we do it ourselves.
I mean, I think you could hint, reach out to someone with a color copier, a nice color copier, and get some donations. That one,
No, yeah, absolutely. And those are all things, yeah, for sure.
hint.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mainly
Oh,
supplies.
meaning,
There
yeah,
you
we
go.
found
Yeah,
one.
There you go.
Okay.
Right there, yeah.
Another question was on your direct mailings. Where are those going to?
We're hoping to go, I don't know, because
We were going to target Round Rock, Georgetown, Bryan College Station. We were going to target the direct mailings to the
Bigger cities.
communities that are 50
How do
miles
you get the
out.
addresses?
Who are
for
you
those
mailing
direct
them?
mailings?
We're going to have to go to the Chamber of Commerce, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, to get some of their direct mailing.
Are you direct
addresses,
mailing
so.
businesses, individuals, different
We want
groups?
residences as well.
I mean, because those, you can get a lot of different lists in the world, but
Yes.
if you don't hit the right list,
And it doesn't,
It
right,
doesn't-
because we want both. We wanted to hit both the people to come and enjoy and bring their family out for this amazing event, but we also want businesses to come out and vendor.
one thing I see on here that I don't, to me, you missed the biggest boat, not,
Uh-oh.
but social media.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that.
It's free.
Oh, well, yeah, we do social media. We just
Okay.
didn't put it on there because it
Okay.
doesn't cost.
Dan's our man.
Yeah.
Right
You
here.
can,
this
you can, you
Dan.
can pay to boost that.
Yeah, and we can pay to boost that.
We can pay to boost it.
And for Taco Fest, that would be the objective, is to have the funds to be able to boost
Yes.
that for weeks in advance of the actual.
And then we have just brought up, we just brought up a Rockdale Community Market website. So what else do we have with the website? We've got we've got vendor portals now, so we are getting all up into the social media, more advanced on the,
I would not
the
be as
Facebook
concerned with
posts
with a
and
website as I
all
am
that
social
stuff,
media.
so,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest problem with a website is if you don't have some kind of back-end funding,
Yeah.
people aren't gonna go there. But
Yes.
social media,
Yes.
and again, another hint, find somebody that has 4,000 or 5,000 followers or friends.
Yes.
Give them your flyer
Yeah.
and ask them to send it out for you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great news.
Part of our principal advertising was planned for people who decide to join the taco, the competition. We would like to put flyers in the hands of those competitors to be able to hand out in their restaurants to also help. Hey, if you're already coming here, you should come to the market event and figure out, which the best taco is. It better be mine, right? Rib. So that was part of our printing fees too, was the plans to put those flyers in the hands of the vendors instead of expecting them to put that cost out. And the other ones were around town flyers as well as the local areas around. But again, not that those couldn't be printed differently, but that was part of that plan as well.
How many, how many heads, how many hotel rooms do you have to have to justify 10,000?
Well, to justify a grant of $10,000 for an event like this, it'd be 50, which I don't think we'll get there, but
Not realistic.
it's unrealistic. Now, what I would propose and try to get their feedback, I would be willing to commit to meeting with them on a weekly basis, if they want to do all the legwork for this event and present everything to me for consideration, spending up to $10,000 of hotel funds for the event, if they can provide for me the justification documentation of those items that are justified. Instead of doing it as a grant like we're talking about, is actually do it as a city-sponsored event and meet with them, and I will make a
That
commitment
money
to.
back.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You mentioned in the one, you mentioned that the city profited from that. That's how they covered that, 45,000?
Yeah,
So does the
they
city
make
have to get
65.
something back from this?
No, it was actually, it's kind of nice, because then the money that came back was not hotel occupancy tax money.
It goes into your
It goes into the general fund. It's kind of like
Listen,
laundering
just for
money.
just for clarification, if we were to go that direction, that money would not come out of city budgets, it would come out of hot fund.
Yes, and I would not necessarily, if we limit it, I would not look to raise any money this year from that, for the particular festival.
So what if you looked at it like this? If it takes 50 beds to justify $10,000, it's not gonna happen. So if we give you $10,000, you shoot for 25 beds. Anything that you don't make between 0 and 25, you come back to us and we look at the other part as seed money for next year's event that the city will be participant in.
Can you repeat that?
I'll try.
I think it's a great idea.
It takes 50 beds to justify $10,000. That's not realistic. So if we cut that in half, we ask you to go out and we give you $10,000, and what we ask in return is that you do 25 beds. If you don't get 25 beds, anything you don't get below the 25 has to be paid back to the city.
At a rate of $400 per bed below that? Because that would be at 25 beds, that's $400 per room night that you'd be paying.
Whatever the calculation, I don't know, I haven't done
So
it.
anyways,
Whatever value you're putting on that, each room,
so if they only say they only have 10 room nights,
then we're looking back for the
15.
value of 15 beds.
So $6,000.
okay?
If that,
No.
Yeah.
I'm valuing the 25 at $5,000.
Okay,
And we're using the other 5,000, we're saying the other 5,000 would be seed money that we're willing to give them to produce this event that would next year become a city-sponsored event. Does that make sense?
yes, I think. In other words, the $5,000 we're giving them now, but then next year, if it becomes a city-sponsored event, then the city pays for it next year. But why are we giving them the $5,000 this year for next year's event?
To get the ball rolling, seed money. They you gotta have a first event sometime.
you're gonna give that extra $5 up front?
Yes, that's what I'm proposing.
To give them 5,000 to kickstart their.
I guess essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor Pro Tem, but what you're saying is if the next year they're going strong and that $5,000 would be subtracted out of the money potentially given to them, or is that correct?
They wouldn't need that seed money next year.
Okay.
Because it's now a city-sponsored event.
So they wouldn't need, right, so they wouldn't need any money next year. Because the city's sponsoring, I mean, I would say,
What I'm hesitant is to volunteer you to be a part of this year. We've got some decent fish to fry ourselves, besides this, and I don't wanna volunteer your time. I'm looking at it as more, let us give you seed money, you go start the event with hopes that next year it becomes a city-sponsored event. And they're not looking for any money at that point.
What's the amount you're looking at, Mayor Pro Tem?
$5,000.
Okay, I thought, okay.
No,
I feel,
They're getting 10.
they're getting 10,
On the hook for 5.
they're on the hook for 5.
Let me ask you this, so
The other 5
you're
is
saying the
seed.
city take over next year, are y'all fine with that?
Well, we
We
need a
would partner
partnership.
with.
Yeah, we would love to partner with you.
Not taking over.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We had a great time at the Christmas thing. so-
Yeah, we did.
as a result of it.
Yeah.
And this is how this would be different from other organizations because they're partnering with us.
The only thing I would ask, if
5,000.
we did that, the only thing I would add, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I would ask is all the promotional materials that they put out for this year's festival listed as the city of Rockdale and the town and
Absolutely.
Rockdale Community Market.
the
That's not
Rockdale
hard.
community, so that it is,
That's early.
it makes it, this year's a city hosted event.
We have our flyers ready to go. We'll add your name to it.
It becomes a city hosted event even though they are running with it.
This is just trying to get as creative as I can to not tell somebody no that's trying to do something.
But that way,
In the-
and
in
that
the
way in
meetings,
the
it's
future, if
expensive.
somebody else comes to us and wants money up front, we were able to do it this time because it's a community sponsored event.
I like those
And
conversations going. I'm not gonna
yes.
say anything.
No, I agree.
and I will help, if you will let me,
Absolutely.
I will help. I will
Welcome on
volunteer
board.
My time,
We are a great group.
Yes.
and that's fine. but
You
I
will
mean,
fit in
I've
just
had some
fine.
Big festivals,
Okay.
and I will help.
All right.
Excellent, thank you.
Appreciate
I
that.
love
save-
that.
Save some money and get a little more exposure.
Excellent,
Love that.
yes. We love learning.
Council?
Me too.
I don't know if we can even do that. That's just, I'm trying to.
You're saying we can, right? You're saying we can with the quote partnership, we could potentially give them this.
If we partner with them, and that's
Financially.
what I did with the chamber when we partnered for the Christmas festival, there were certain things that the city paid for. I didn't want to give them money and then they contract for certain things, the things that we were agreeing to cover the cost of. I made sure that the city was paying those vendors directly rather than us paying the chamber. And I would prefer to kind of do it that way rather than us paying the market money, that we pay whoever they need to pay, use that money to pay.
Like the mariachi band?
Like the mariachi band.
And you can do that at a
You know, like the photo booth, even marketing, you know,
Okay.
I would rather
Okay.
pay those individuals as an event sponsor than pay them and have them,
Would that be for the whole amount?
sorry?
For the whole amount?
I would say it would be up to that amount, but like, for instance, if you wanted to pay mariachi band, I mean, we have $2,200 from musicians and dancers. You know, if we have, $1,800 of contracts for those musicians, we don't pay $1,800. So we get the
Okay.
difference, the difference in that.
Okay.
No,
you
that's,
know,
that's great with us, just for transparency reasons as well. right?
Absolutely.
That would be better for us, from the standpoint of,
I definitely want to do something. I'm also, I'm just pretty transparent. I'm a little leery about just cutting a $10,000
Absolutely.
check.
Yeah.
Understandable. No, that's fine. We've become Tim's best friend.
And honestly, like, our whole goal is just to help, it's a community thing, right? So partnering with you guys is an incredibly logical part of it, because
Yeah.
we're trying to promote Rockdale anyway, right? And we don't have to control the purse strings as long as we have an agreement that when we need funds to be appropriated for something that's on a receipt, we have invoices, it's clear that this is for that thing.
Yep.
That it gets paid, and that's
And they
all we
have-
would ask, because we just want to make Rockdale look the best at the end of this event, and the better it is, the better Rockdale looks. right?
and so they have an estimated $5,000 in other expenses for the festival that they're getting other event sponsors for. So those other
Well, we're
private
trying.
sponsors can give them money directly, and then. so-
And we could even account for all that stuff to you guys too, if you wanted to have just a view into, right, just the overall workings of our board, how we do our bookkeeping, how we, keep track of things, just to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
I think it's part of hot food. You're gonna have to do that.
No,
We do
have
that
to do
at
both.
the
That's not
end,
a
yeah.
problem.
So they're eligible, as long as they're eligible expenses. So, I guess my recommendation for a motion would be that you authorize me to spend up to $10,000 in support of this festival, working with them to cover certain expenses that they might incur to make this festival happen.
I'm fine with that, but I still we still have to track the hotel motel heads and beds. That's-
Oh, yes.
Yes.
100%. By using whatever form you guys have is what we were planning on doing, so.
Yeah, and I'm actually the board treasurer, so we've met Tim. I'm open to learning and hearing that feedback and providing whatever's needed. Documentation will be had.
Well, I think you see, you have a council sitting up here that is working very diligently to work with you.
Yes, absolutely.
And what I want you to know and hear from me, it's my expectation of you and your board that you please get out and work your tails off
Oh.
to do your part to make this event as successful as we all hope it can be.
And not just here in Rockdale, we are taking road trips.
Yep.
We are going to physically go to Georgetown, Round Rock, Bryan College Station, and.
Yeah, we want this
walk
to be
and walk and
successful.
walk. Yes.
And I do appreciate you guys all listening.
Supporting, yes.
Thank you for your time.
Council, any other questions or comments? Any other things, Georgia, your group would like to offer?
No, sir.
All right, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for your time and your feedback.
We're looking forward to this year. We're excited.
Oh, that is one question. Since you brought that up. Margaritas?
There will be margaritas as long as we can get the permits for
Yeah,
it.
you gotta get
Yeah.
a license.
So which, you said you had a license, right?
Yes, sir, and insurance.
It's a temporary one, actually.
Yes. Yep.
I make a motion that we authorize the city manager to partner with the hometown market. Community market with reimbursement, for vendors,
Pay expenses for.
pay expenses, up to $10,000 out of hot funds, with the understanding that the city is added as a partner sponsor for this event.
What wording do you want? Sponsor or partner?
Partner.
Partner.
Can I have one more question before we vote? Sure.
We already have a motion and a second on the floor. Can you wait till the discussion, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have a second?
We do have a second.
Oh, we're ready.
But we have a motion and a second on the floor. Now, Councilmember Will, we're open for discussion.
Will we see any of these expenses before they're committed to? Meaning,
Yes.
We
He
provide-
will.
We would
I
provide
will.
him.
you will.
He
That's
will,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll
Oh, yeah.
provide everything up front to
I
Tim.
just- I don't
before
want to
we
see, I
even ask.
certainly don't take this wrong. I don't see all of a sudden we bought 2 donkeys and a wagon.
Well, we could give mule rides.
I'm hearing that you want to be the liaison.
No, I love this.
Right? That's what I'm
I
hearing.
do. I like this kind of stuff.
I nominate
You're gonna
him
be our
as
new
a
BFF.
liaison.
And I would really, a little bit further discussion, I would really encourage you to take advantage of what Councilmember Willie is offering you in
Oh.
regard to his help from his knowledge with doing lots of these things.
We're calling him tomorrow.
Cook-offs and, you know,
Calling him tomorrow.
Don't get tired of us.
No.
You said it, you heard it, everybody.
Council, any other discussion? Being no discussion, will entertain a vote. All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Congratulations. Look forward to a successful meeting.
Thank y'all, seriously.
Thank you.
It's gonna
Thank
be
you
a
guys
great
so
time. I want
much.
to see everybody there. Please come show your faces and let us, the community, thank you.
Council, do we have any other business to attend to tonight before adjourn? Any other business to attend to before adjourn? We're now adjourned at 7:05 PM.